Dun, 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 dun. Waiting is over! That's so exciting that the challenge is on now. So this is 1st June 2018 and this is the 30 by 30 Direct Watercolor 2018 Marathon Day 1. I am rather excited that painting is going to be a priority for me this month along with the video. It's always so difficult to make a priority of things we love and everything we love, isn't it? But this month watercolor is #1 and this is going to be awesome! This was so touching when a lot of you said at first I was thinking I was too much a beginner and I wouldn't take on the challenge and everything, and finally you said that my enthusiasm pushed you to try and encouraged you and made you think that you were able to do this. So thank you so much for your trust and to join the challenge. I am proud of you guys. Surprisingly or not surprisingly, I don't know, I procrastinated a bit this morning. I felt I need a bit of fresh air, so I made just a bit of gardening and taking care of my plants in the apartment. And I think it did some good, a bit of thinking about the challenge, but taking my time to start. Plus I decided to tidy a bit my kitchen and I decorated a bit differently one of the area, and I thought that maybe this could give me some idea to paint. And when your environment, when your surrounding, when your decor is lovely, you may want to paint it more. Plus, not being at the computer, but doing things for real, like the gardening, taking care of the plant, even tidying or cleaning the kitchen, made me think if you do some more things in the real world and not in the computer or the screen and everything, you will have more ideas and willing to paint the real world. So that's a bit the first lesson I am going to keep in my mind, to be sure I am staying inspired. But now, time to paint for real and to make the first painting of this challenge. What a pressure! So I think my first subject is going to be these lovely beauties, because I have been wanting to paint them for quite a while. But there will other thing that I will want to paint in here. I spot a bit of backlight here on the fruits for a while too, so I think it could make another sketch. Maybe even, sometimes the light on sink can be interesting to paint. And this morning I changed a bit this little corner with the little plants. So I would like to think more about painting different scales, so sometimes close-ups but also wider view. So I think I'm going to do that in my kitchen during the challenge, sometimes painting just as kind of still life, the flower or the fruit or the plant, the basil and everything, or sometimes trying to have a bit of a wider view, which I tend to do less often, especially when I am at home indoors. That's it, I think I am inspired! I could even open the window. It may be a bit more noisy, but can you hear the birds? So pretty, of course. I like the bright yellow dot in the middle of the flower, and also the darker purple, which defines the flower at the top and a bit in other parts. So I think it can be nice to play with negative painting, because the main part of the flower is quite light, but some other parts are dark. And I don't even need to use the bag, I can just set my things just in here. I'm going to make a sort of a purplish wash as a start, which will become afterwards this part of the flower. So keeping a bit of white on the paper and having a bit of purple all around. not my main technique, but I thought it could work quite well for this one. Now let's paint the flowers for real! To use my opaque for the yellow so that it really stand out, and if it melts with the other color it won't melt the same way. It will still stay separated and won't have, won't get muddy. I will probably add a bit of cadmium yellow orange as well to make it slightly warmer. A bit of green to define everything. Maybe not too bright green, why not a bit turquoise so that it's a bit matched better with the purple. Let's try that. Oh, I like the wet in wet effect here with the kind of stem and greenery. I hope it will stay. My effect is starting to appear, I have to work on these. I want to keep some part undefined and in here with the lost edge. Maybe a few splars. So it seems really dark at first, but it will be really lighter when drying. Trying to pay attention to the composition. Still wet in some places, and that's nice for splatters too. I don't really like the wet in wet flowers out there. I think they are a bit heavy and not the same sense of light. So I just put a few dry brush in here, and I think it improves a bit design, but the sketch is still a bit wet. Really wet in here. It's raining right now, and I kept the window open. I don't know if you can tell. But that's also why the sketches stayed so wet and I was able to have this kind of melted look. But I am also softening the edges to get this effect. We'll see if I want to add a bit of something when it will be totally dry, but I don't think I will add so much. It's tempting to want to add little lines like that to define the flower, or maybe the center in a darker thing. But in my experience, when you do so, you often lose the freshness of the watercolor and it tends to get more realistic, and that's not what I am aiming to. I think this is a lovely site. I took a few photos. Just made an Instax. Hey. It seems that I made it upside down, but never mind. I like, you know, the composition and the graphic interest with all these cycles together, and that's quite a fun site, you know. Dishes in the sink. Framing with the camera is never perfect. You can't really see the final image in the viewfinder, so that's why there is a bit of the line missing in here, and so the subject is not so centered, but it's quite cool nevertheless. And look at this in my wall. That's a kind of artist work printed on a towel. And it's a bit the same kind of view, you know, from above of a plate. This is also for painting ideas. I like sometimes to sketch this kind of really mundane view, like plates and knives and forks and everything. This is Thursday evening. I was feeling I wanted to paint more, but I was busy with other things, and then I thought I would be probably too tired to make something serious, but I'm going to write down the ideas for the challenge, because I was so busy previously doing the video that I didn't really wrote down everything, so I still have a bit of work on it. I already wrote down a bit the inspiration with people I want to follow and to check their work or book if I have a lack of inspiration, and I am going to keep going with the location and ideas. And earlier in the day, I thought about a new kind of idea I could write down, which is about a color combination. At some point I saw in my sink there was a turquoise dish and a red lid. And I remember that I like this color combination between the turquoise and the red or pink. And by the way, I think I should use turquoise more often, because I am really happy with the result with the purple for the flowers today. So I would say greenish turquoise to match with the purple, and bluish turquoise to match with the red and the pink. Or maybe not too much, but to complement, I would say. write in French, sometimes in English. That's a bit messy, but I'm okay with it. I also figured out that I would try to write down quite regularly some kind of lesson to myself, what I think I can improve in my work, some kind of thoughts I had about the things that are better maybe in my work, or that I could improve while doing something really precise. I think I am going to do this in English because I prefer to talk about watercolor in English, and so that I can share it easier with you too. When I do a bit of calligraphy, I try to put this kind of sheet underneath, and even if the lines can barely show through, it helps slightly bit. And for the calligraphy, I use my new Pentel Touch pen, which is really nice and really enjoyable to write with. I think I should try it out to sketch too. And the taping is not so pretty, but I think that all these black pens can really easily be messed up together. So I try to put them a bit of color so that I can recognize them more easily. Just one more little tip of my own little tricks. Whoa, I'm sorry, but this has to be a song. I see a griddle and I want it painted cobalt. I love so much color, I want them to turn bright. I see a girl by dressed in her summer clothes. I had to go ahead and paint her before she goes. I see all of your cars, but why are they all black? Let's cast a rainbow on to get cheerfulness back. Some people only see the lives in blues and greens, but I want mine and him to joy and use every day. I look around myself with my personal sight. I see the world with eyes that want it painted bright. I don't think this fade away, but rather reach a climax. Please join, life is so right when your world is bright. I want to see painted, 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 painted bright. Oh, painted, 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 painted bright. Oh, 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 paint it, paint it, paint it, paint it bright, fresh and juicy, paint the leaf, paint it, paint it, paint it, right. So, by the way, this is day 2 and I'm going to paint a gorgeous light in the kitchen. Let's say that. So, let's do it. I talked a bit about this view yesterday, so I'm especially interested in the light at the top of the fruit in here, with the backlight and the window, and on the tap too. So I think I'm going to paint an horizontal panorama just with these two elements. Not too much busyness all around, but just playing with the light and these two elements. Look at this light, that's so beautiful. My apples are really old, so I really have to eat them, so I thought I should definitely paint them today, because they may not be here anymore tomorrow, and there were not so much apple left, so they were a bit low in the plate yesterday, so I put a few things inside and a bit, underneath, so that the fruit can be a bit higher on this, so that I can show them really easily in my composition during painting. My intention for this one is mostly the sense of light, really important, so the value. I will play a bit with the color, with this kind of warm hue of the apples and fruits, so yellow and orange, and probably playing a bit with kind of purple turquoise hue for the tap and the ink. So I think that can work quite well. Plus I want to keep going with the looseness, so which means lost edges at some point, with kind of a dry edge, but also in, for example, in the shadow, having some melted edges. For example, the bottom of the plate may not be defined, but just, melted in the kitchen top. This kind of thing. I'm going to try it. This time I think about just sharing with you a time-lapse of this painting done. Enjoy! Sorry for the speedy, shaky footage. I still experiment with my shooting technique to try to share everything with you. So yeah, always learn your lesson and do better next time. But I hope you enjoyed seeing me painting, even if it was not the best condition possible. I had a lot of fun playing with the colors, dipping in the turquoise, the phthalo turquoise, and dipping in the cobalt violet hue and the turquoise and the violet and the turquoise and the violet and sometimes a few other colors, but mostly these two ones are melting together. I think they make a nice combo. Yesterday was already a purple and turquoise sketch, so don't worry, I'm not going to use the same color combination every time, but maybe that's nice, you know, to enhance a bit and to work on it and to try to put it in your head so that later you can use it when it seems suitable. I think it works well with the kind of a warm glow I try to put in the middle thanks to the Naples yellow in order to have the impression of the window but without drawing the kind of square shapes which could have been distracting in my opinion, and with the color of the fruit as well, of course. And I am even wearing a turquoise shirt today, and it's not even on purpose! By the way, thanks for your compliment about my dark purple top from the other day. You are so kind with me. I think this sketch is quite nice in the middle between the looseness and just slightly a bit realistic with the light on the top, and a thing that I had really fun to try to catch. But with this kind of color melted background and also, yeah, the original bright colors and a lot of a bit of looseness, brush strokes and melted washes, it's balanced a bit, you know, the kind of sense of light that can seem slightly more realistic. So I would say that I am happy with it, even if there is this kind of scale. I don't know, because when I look at the real thing, I have the impression that I checked my proportion and that it may be right. But when I look at my sketch, I have the impression that the fruit bowl is too big. Maybe that's also a shape, because these kind of curvy shapes like ellipses are so difficult to make, so I struggled a bit with mine. So maybe that's because it's not totally right that I have this impression. But that was a nice practice and I am happy with the result. I was a bit worried because as I liked yesterday's sketch, I was thinking, and today is going to be a mess, or maybe not as good, and I don't know which one I prefer. But I am happy with my 30 by 30 direct watercolor 2018 marathon start. So thank you for following this adventure with me and to follow my artist vlog. I hope you like this new format, a bit having a glimpse at home and a bit chatting with you and painting and sharing with you things that inspire me and my progress during the marathon. Think about sharing it to your friend if you think they would enjoy to follow along my creative adventure as well. Subscribe if your friend tells you to come, or if YouTube recommend the video, or if you found out and you just found me and you want to follow along as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Happy painting, good luck for the challenge, and remember, paint it bright! Paint it, paint it, paint it, paint it bright, fresh and juicy, paint the leaf. Paint it, paint it, paint it, paint it bright, cheerful, lovely, happy. Paint it, paint it.